Hello and welcome to Marinsky March 2023, where every day in March we make a sausage recipe out of one of Adam and Stanley Marinsky's books. Last year we did home production of quality meats and sausage, which I think is one of the best sausage books out there still. It gives you the how and why behind what you're doing in sausage making. But this year we're doing recipes out of the new book, 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes, which is a gift to us sausage makers and meat enthusiasts. Adam and Stan have traveled across Europe and North America for the last 20 years compiling recipes, and they put it all into this jumbo book. What's even better is Stanley has sent me 5 copies to give away to you guys over the course of the month, and all you got to do to get qualified is leave a comment in the videos and I'll find you and I'll send you a copy if you're one of the lucky winners. So, without any further ado, let's get into 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes by Adam and Stanley Marinsky. Hello and welcome to the episode on Beutlewurst. In Marinsky March 2023, this is another blood sausage recipe from page 488 of 1001 Greatest Sausage Recipes. Beutlewurst is I'm not saying it right and I'm sorry. Beutlewurst is a German blood sausage. Beutel meaning bag in German, so bag sausage. What we need for the bag sausage is some back fat or fatty trimmings, rye meal, and pork blood. And I got 2 out of the 3, but I couldn't find rye meal. I went all over the place, so I got rye flour. I'm a little concerned the flour is going to get clumpy in the blood, but it's the best I could do for today. So what we're going to do is weigh out and cut up our back fat, scald it a little bit just so it gets a little bit soft, mix everything together, stuff it, and poach it. Blood sausages are pretty easy. You don't need a grinder. It's kind of like they used what they had available lots of the time. Now it's just rooted in the culture. Not so much in North America, but more so in Europe. How much do I need? 300 grams. And this is what we'll be using, some nice pearly white pork back fat. Okay. 300 grams of cubed back fat, diced fat in the 1/4 inch cubes and scald with hot water. All right. Whew. All right, yeah, so the water coming out of my sink is hotter than most. I think it's at 72 degrees Celsius, so 160. So we're just gonna get enough to cover these guys and let them sit for 5. There we go. All right, so while that back fat is kind of poaching away a little bit in that hot water, I'm gonna measure out our blood out of our ice cream pail full of blood that I just mixed up because just before this I made the gelato. So, but today it's Beutlewurst, so we need 350 grams of Blut. That's not actually Blut means bag. Blood. There's 355. Extra 5 grams never hurt anybody. Put away our little bucket of blood. Okay, it says to slightly warm up the blood. I'm not going to worry about that step. And we're going to add our rye flour in. I got my steak scraper that we use for scraping steaks and pork chops. I'm going to try and kind of whisk it in bit by bit. I go lightly dust it on there, maybe it won't clump up so bad. This rye flour is like a little bit coarser than a fine white flour, so maybe we'll be all right. All right, our blood mixture's starting to get thick. I only got about half of the mixture in there. I'm going to stir it in by hand. I got about 1/4 of this flour to get in there, and it's starting to get quite thick. I'm just going to put it all in. Then I can't cop out. I'm going to get it all mixed in there. Very strange textured sausage. Looks like purple Play-Doh in here. Just about got all that blood or flour absorbed. I'm pretty kind of excited for this one actually now. I don't know if this flour is what you're supposed to be. Is this exactly the same as rye meal? I don't think so. But not from the little bit I read, if I remember correctly. But I got it all absorbed. So that was about 5 minutes worth of waiting. Look at that. It's like, in go our fat chunks that have been sitting in that scalding hot water for a couple minutes. Into the blood mixture we go. That is quite a bit of fat. Toss around a bit and then stuff it into 36mm hog casings. All right, usually getting the blood sausage loaded into the stuffer is a little bit tricky, but I don't think it's going to be very tricky with this one. because it is thick. All right, load that cake, that blood cake in there. All right, there's the last of it. I was so excited about the texture, I forgot to add the spices. Dang it. All right, it has been remixed. That would have been a catastrophic failure. Okay, we have hit blood sausage. Get our natural casings loaded on the horn. Okay, I'm thinking, it's so thick, you're definitely gonna wanna be attaching the stuffer to the table. I don't know if you have to tie an end in this one because it's pretty thick, but I'm going to anyways because that's my move with blood sausages. It's got some air pockets in there from the big chunks of fat and onions. I'm not gonna poke any holes in it because I explode during poaching. It stuffs really easily. I was a little bit worried that it'd be really thick, but it's really easy to stuff. A little extra off, so I got a little something to work with. All right, stuff loosely, it says. Well, it's a little firmer than loose, oh well. Give her the old double knot on each end, and then we will get it into the pot to poach. All right, introducing new to the lineup this year, Roy the Red is what we call this thermometer. Roy Davis sent me this thermometer. One of you guys off YouTube, well, not one of you guys off YouTube, Roy Davis, who's seen us on YouTube, tracked me down and sent me this Thermapen. It's a wicked little thermometer. He doesn't work for Thermapen or anything like that. He said he really likes them, and he sent me one because he's a good guy. So thanks, Roy. I told you I'd give you a shout out. There it is. Check it out. They're supposed to be 175, which is 80 degrees Celsius. We're a little on the hot side, 188. Look how quick that Thermapen reads, which is okay. You don't want it boiling, otherwise you could pop and burst them, but I'll just turn it down a little bit. All right, they're gonna lose a little heat as you drop them in, so that's fine if it's a little bit over. All right, in goes the Beutlewurst bag sausage, rye flour delight. The book gives us times to cook all of these, but I'm gonna go by temperature. I'm gonna probe one of the Morosilla Galagas in about 35 minutes is what I'm gonna actually 45 minutes. I'm gonna leave it in there for 45 minutes and probe one, and if it's at 160, I'm happy. Well, got it a little too warm during the cooking, that means. Be very careful taking these out. They're definitely done if we had a blow up. Okay, carefully removing the blood sausages so they don't break. Oh yeah, it's like 185. Got a little too hot. I took the lid off because it was getting too warm, but it obviously got a little too warm for that long, so you have to pay close attention when you're doing blood sausages. God dang, that one, the casing just unwrapped on it. I believe this one has no casing on it. It looks like it has come off. Yeah, it's come off. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna get that out. Just gonna drain it. Okay, there it is, drained out. I broke it in half as I was draining it. Not textbook blood sausage cooking. But it's still gonna taste good. We're still gonna see how it tastes. Okay, it's the next morning and our Beutlewurst has cooled down after our near wreck. And we have it in 3 chunks. Let it get a little too warm. There we go. And I looked it up last night. Rye meal is rye flour. It's basically ground from the whole seed of rye, coarsely ground. So I used the right stuff for this. Anyways, this is kind of our best chunk the next day after the casing popped off during cooking due to my negligence. Let's dive into this guy here. Well, nice and dense. Some nice pieces of white fat popping right out of there. Fat and onion. Looks like a good blood sausage to me. There's your cross section of it. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's go in for a bite to the Beutlewurst, the bag sausage. This one's got a nice big piece of onion in it, a couple pieces of fat. Fat's nice and soft and creamy. Taste the onion. And it's got a really unique texture for blood sausage. Really, I don't know, it's like eating like a pastry or some sort of like a, I don't know, like a piece of bread almost. What you would expect from the amount of flour that's in there. But yeah, that's really good. The seasonings are nice. I don't know, I think that's a pretty unique blood sausage. Usually the texture's a little different. The blood doesn't really come across overly strong. Yeah, creamy chunks of fat, nice chunks of onion. Overall, this is a really good blood sausage if you like blood sausages. The Beutlewurst. There it is, guys. Kind of doughy, creamy from the fat, yummy onion flavor. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll make a video like this every day in March for Marinsky March. Happy sausage making.